Good morning, LinkedIn. James here from Hobson Pry. Hope you're all having a good week. Just wanted to speak to you today about my next interview topic, which was actually surrounding motivations. Now, I speak to people every single day in the candidate market looking for new jobs. And one of the questions I always ask them very early on in our conversations is what motivates you? And it's actually a question that many people really struggle to answer when on the phone to me. They may have seen a job description, or they may have put on their LinkedIn they're looking for new opportunities. But when actually I speak to them about what is really driving their job search, they struggle to answer it. They might mention, "I thought the job was interesting," or "I'm just wanting a new challenge," but they can not always quantify, what that new challenge needs to look like, or what's actually making them go out and look at that job description in the first place. So motivations is something that I think is really key to successfully performing in a job interview, because the client will want to know why you're interested in their company and why you're looking for a position overall, for multiple reasons. One, they want to make sure you're sort of motivated in line with their expectations of what they're hoping to achieve as a company. And also, they want to kind of gauge whether or not you're just looking for the sake of looking for an extra 10,000 Swiss francs or euros or dollars on your salary, or if there's something deeper which will fit in with their company essentially. So I think it's a really crucial talking point to be prepared for. So there's a few things that I would do, and a few things I would look at from different perspectives. There's the perspective of somebody who's out of work, who's in between jobs, and essentially needs a new job to join. They're potentially more open to different opportunities because everyone has bills that needs to be paid. Then there's the scenario of the second person who is in work. They have a good job. They're not driven financially to get a new position, but they're wanting a new challenge. They're looking to develop themselves further. Now, looking at scenario one, you're between jobs. You're looking for something new. You may be interviewing multiple places, and you really want to get across what's motivating you. Now, I think what's really key for you to get across is that you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for their job. Now, there's multiple ways that you can answer this, but I think knowledge of the company is really key, um, to show that you've done your research on them and show that you are really truly driven to join their position. So, what I'd be doing is reading up on the company website, things like the mission statement. What are their core values, and answering where you can align yourself with these core values and what motivates you about those core values as well. Secondly, what is the future of the company? What projects have they got coming up? What projects have they got in the future that you want to be on board for? Because I think if you can explain your motivations in line with their vision and their projects, then again, it's a much better sell than "I need a new job, your company's advertising." And thirdly, the job description itself, picking out the core points of what you have done in your career and where the job is going to further your career. Not just speaking to them about some of the tasks and activities which you can do if your eyes closed, as that won't really convince them you're truly motivated and this is a challenge for you, but actually, yeah, focusing on the things that are going to develop your career. Because I think if you can answer all three of those points really well about company vision and values, about company projects and future growth within the company, but also future growth within the position, that'll stand you in really good stead for explaining why you're motivated for that company's position, and it won't come across like you're just looking for any job. Now, scenario two is if you're in between positions and you're looking for a new, sorry, if you're in a position and you're looking to just make that next step in your career. Now, a company will often ask about, why you're looking to leave your company. Now, that is a difficult question in itself because you don't want to put negative connotations on your last business, but ultimately there is always a reason. So don't focus on the negatives, as I would say. You could mention things like lack of progression, you know, and actually explain to them what you're aiming to achieve in your next position, and that why you haven't been able to achieve that in your current company. Potentially, there's lack of investment, lack of funds for you to grow. If you're looking to manage a team, for example, and there's no chance of doing that because of the structure they have set up, but not really focusing on I'm not enjoying my work, or it's a negative company environment, but focusing on like what you're missing out on and what you're unable to achieve within that business is where I would say. Now, the other things you want to focus on when talking about motivations when you're in position are fairly similar to those when you're between jobs. So you still want to be doing that really in-depth background research about a company to show that you really are interested in them. So again, looking at the mission statement, looking at their vision as a business, looking at their pipeline, explaining why they want to why you want to join that business and be involved in those projects and what it is about those projects that motivates you. I did have a candidate interview a few years ago who answered one of these questions with what motivates you for the role with I'm really interested in the company's pipeline, but then she couldn't answer uh, when she was further asked, "Well, what's in our pipeline?" So actually doing the background research is really key. There's certain like buzzwords like pipeline and projects that people will automatically turn to an interview, but if you're underprepared, then you're going to fall sort of flat on your face when it comes to answering those questions. And I think finally, the other thing for candidates in work who are interviewing for a new position is explaining to the client like where the lack of growth is coming from and where they can see that growth coming from in this new position. I think if you can really like quantify your answers, really explain why you're looking for their position in particular, then that's really going to make them feel special. And you should have a more successful um, approach in your interview. So hopefully this piece on motivations is useful. I'd always be keen to get your feedback and your thoughts on where your experience has come when it comes to explaining motivations in interviews. So please get in contact and have a great next couple of days for the week. Thank you. Bye bye.